welcome to the Coming Home podcast. I am your host, Dr.Onalee. This is the first episode of 2025, and I am just asking God to speak through me to just be as useful and supportive to you. This is a 2025 intention setting workshop, if you will. I'm going to share a little bit about the process that I did last night, what I am stepping into, and my intention is to just help you reframe, relook at some of the things that happened in 2024 so that you can move powerfully into 2025. The first thing I want to share is that I don't feel like I'm starting from scratch or starting over anymore. It used to feel like, okay, I just finished a year and now here's a blank canvas for a whole new year, but it would feel like I'm starting at zero. I haven't made any money yet. I am, nothing has happened yet, right? But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as I'm just taking a step forward and continue to walk up the mountain. I'm continuing on, but I'm also going to look at all of the wisdom and the lessons from 2024. I just think a lot of us, let me know if you can relate, really look at it as, oh my gosh, new year, fresh start, completely starting over from zero. It really has helped me the past few years to not look at it that way. I look at it as, for example, if I already was hitting certain goals in my business or working with clients, creating something, or I'm already on a weight loss journey or a strength journey. I don't look at it as now 2025, I'm starting. I look at it as I'm continuing. I'm continuing on my business journey. I'm continuing on my weight loss journey. I'm continuing on my strength journey, whatever it is. To me, that has taken off so much pressure and so much of a feeling of I have so much work to do or I'm so far from where I want to go. To me, it's I'm just continuing to walk forward. So, what I invite us all to do is to look back at 2024 and find the celebrations and what we're grateful for. Something that my mentor has really been helping me with is that we celebrate it all. For example, I had a month in business that was a very high month in business, but one of my clients did not pay. The payment defaulted. She wasn't in communication about why it it didn't end up being that month that it was going to be my highest payment. It still was a high month. It was amazing. But what an older version of me would look at is, well, I didn't actually hit that highest month. And so what my mentor has helped me reframe is like, no, I did. That was the capacity. That was the energetic match. That was what I was capable of receiving that month. Another example is you got into a relationship, say, or you started dating somebody, but it didn't work out. What a lot of us do is we discredit the love and the joy and the celebrations and the excitement because something didn't work out or it didn't turn out the way that we wanted. And so what happens is we compound this feeling of feeling like a failure. We compound the feeling of disappointment, not enough, didn't work out. And we end up focusing on that more. And so, what I want to help us shift into for 2025 is to really pull out the celebrations, the gratitude, what worked, and to just extract the lessons, the wisdom, and the discernment from the things that didn't follow through. For example, if a relationship didn't work, instead of feeling like a failure, instead of feeling like you wasted your time, can you start to celebrate what were the amazing dates you went on, the amazing trips you went on? How often, and I know love is a main area that I teach and coach on. How often have you just thrown out all of the love and just have an image burned in your mind of the last interaction or the breakup with the person? And when you think of that person, that's what you think about. That's how most of us operate. Instead of thinking about, without making that mean that you need to contact them again or get back with them. But how much greater would our life be if when we think of this person that we were once in a relationship with, if we thought about the happy memories, the happy moments? I had a relationship in 2024 that didn't work out. And I thought it was really promising. I thought it, could have been my soulmate, could have been the one, but it wasn't. And I started to look at it as, wow, what about all of the amazing, beautiful memories and moments? What about the times we went to the awesome dinners, What about the beach walks? What about the times we would watch movies and shows and laugh and go walk on the pier? We had hung up lights in my room, these really cool LED lights. It was an amazing memory. It created amazing feelings within me. But when the relationship ended for a little bit, I was only looking at this person in a negative light and only feeling upset about it. And so my mentor has been the one to help me open up my mind to see that none of it was wasted. There was so much love and joy and laughter in the process. That doesn't mean, oh my gosh, just because I can be nostalgic and think of moments of love and joy, that means, oh my God, I miss them. I need to get back with them. No, I closed the door for a reason. That relationship also taught me courage, that just because it seems promising and it seems very close to what I want, and we were actually stepping into creating a business together that could have brought in a ton of abundance. My dreams in that way could have really come true. But here's what I've learned because I've extracted lessons from previous relationships that did not end up working out. What I had to learn was when I realized I wasn't fully in love with someone or fully attracted to them, not because anything's wrong with them, but because in my gut, my heart, my soul, if I feel like I need to talk myself into making it work in any way, it's not correct for me. So there was no blowout fight. There was no necessary issue. There was no cheating, no anything like that. And so this was where I had to step into my courage to release a relationship without needing a reason. And people can get really hurt from that and really take it the wrong way. And that's really hard. And I think it's a reason a lot of people stay in an incorrect relationship. And a lot of people are also waiting for something really bad to happen to give them the excuse to leave an incorrect relationship. And that's what I learned from my experience. A lot of you listening, you might be new, you might have been here for a while. I had had a relationship where the partner I was living with at the time moved out with no warning, no conversation, moved his stuff out. What I learned from that relationship was I was never even fully attracted to that person, but I was convincing myself that he was the one. And we would have conversations about it. But deep down, I didn't fully really like this guy. Actually, you know what I always think is funny? The night before he moved out, it's almost like I forgot this. I wrote a letter to God asking for my soulmate who wasn't him. And then the next day, God removed him from my life. And this is what the whole Woman in Power program is about. You see your power in situations and how when people have left you or cheated on you or not chosen you, actually there's a part within you who wasn't fully into this person. And it takes deep accountability and ownership, but it's what sets you free. And so because I've done so much freaking work on myself and I've been in so many relationships, I've worked with so many relationship coaches and therapists, I had realized that it got to the point where he moved out because I wasn't being courageous enough to admit that I was settling and I was talking myself into being attracted to the wrong relationship. So I had made a commitment to myself that moving forward, if I ever was in that position, I was going to have to be the one to end it. I was not going to have to wait until it blows up and it gets bad or they cheat or they leave or something happens to give us an excuse. I've worked with a lot of private clients, and a lot of them stay with me for a very long time. And I love that because I get to see some of their spiritual lessons and tests and assignments. And what I've realized is that they don't go away, and we all have unique ones. What one of my clients goes through is nothing near to what I have to go through. But the beautiful thing is that that's her test, that's her training, that's her assignment. That's for her to clear. That's for her to step into. So for me, a big spiritual assignment in this lifetime of mine has been I have to release and let go of a relationship once I know it's really incorrect for me, even if there's not a reason. I have to be willing to disappoint them, hurt their feelings, have them think that I'm horrible in order to honor my heart. I deliver the message with kindness and grace, but that doesn't mean people don't get hurt. That's being a woman in power. That's also being courageous because getting into a relationship is a risk. You never know if it's going to work out or not. We don't have that full information, and we always see things in hindsight. And so I started to forgive myself. I started to not beat myself up for the things that I missed or I overlooked or that I overrode. And I started to actually commend myself for having a lot of courage to get into a relationship and to let somebody love me and to be open and willing to have my heart broken and somebody else's heart broken. I had to let go of the guilt and the shame and the burden that I took on when this person didn't react well to this ending. I healed my heart from this, and I really turned it over to my higher power, the one who I felt was guiding and directing me to release the relationship and to honor my heart's desires as well. And so some time has passed, and I've entered into another relationship. And I'm definitely doing things differently, but I'm also not allowing fear to get in the way of, well, what if it doesn't work? What if it's not the end all be all? What my main focus is, especially for 2025, is to welcome in more love and more memories so that when I look back, I focus on the good. And I'm not so afraid for something to not work out. How often are we holding ourselves back from moving forward because we're too afraid of the failure? For example, if you want to get really good at investing money, you're going to make some investments that are not good, that do not have a direct return. But how do you get to the investments that are amazing and have amazing return? You take the steps towards. To me, that's how I look at everything: business, health, relationships. You're going to fall flat. Just like if you were a child learning to walk or ride a bike, you're going to fall. You're going to scrape your knee. But you're eventually going to get there, and it's eventually going to be second nature, but you got to take the steps towards getting there. I think of this all the time. If you wanted to get abs in the gym, each workout counts, each rep counts. But for a very long time, you see no direct progress, but you cannot skip all of those reps and all of those workouts to get to the one where you really see the results. I think a lot of us do this in life and business in all of the areas. We don't see the direct results, and so we stop and we say it didn't work. Or we experience something, but it doesn't last. And so then we're too afraid to have embarrassment or shame to do it again, or because we sit there feeling like a failure. This is what I want to help us neutralize and release and let go. If we want to play a bigger game, if we want to be in a relationship with our soulmate, if we want to have our dream body, dream business, dream financial situation, dream health, we have to get better with releasing the energy of shame and guilt and disappointment and failure. And you've probably heard this a million times, right? Fail forward. Failure is never a setback. We hear these things, but when it comes to our failures, we discredit what we've heard from some very successful people. And so I just want to share it in a new light. I'm not saying anything new. I'm not saying anything you haven't heard before. I'm just sharing it in a way that maybe it clicks in today, where you don't look at the things that didn't work out in your life as a waste. And you don't look at all of the reps that you put in as a waste. If you're building a house, every brick counts. But how does it feel when you're a third of the way there and all you've been doing is laying bricks, but you don't see the house yet? This is how most of us live our lives. We think, I've been laying down the bricks, but it still looks the same, and I don't really see anything, and it doesn't even look cool. But if you want to get to the house, you got to keep going. And then eventually you look at the house and you're not thinking about each little brick or what it looked like a third of the way. You just see the house. And that's the kind of energy I want to help us shift into for 2025. So can you go back and reflect on 2024 and pull out all of the moments of love and joy and abundance and celebration and happiness and health? Can you take a look at what were some of the lessons so that you can move forward in 2025 in a powerful way without needing to keep repeating certain lessons or still feel stuck at the end of 2025? Something I like to do with my clients, especially in the beginning of the year, is have them really take a look at and create the energy of how do you want to feel at the end of 2025? What would you have wanted to accomplish or what would you want to be feeling? Because a year will pass from now and it's going to fly. And we don't want, right, to just sit in the same energy we feel in 2024 of, oh, I should have started the business. I should have done this. I should have done that. I can't believe a whole year has gone by and I feel like I'm stuck in the same place. This is where we have to allow ourselves to dream. Where do you want to be in 2025? Will you let go of the need to figure out how? Will you allow yourself to just be in the energy of dreaming? A lot of what you're going to notice in my work is shifting back into that childlike joy and wonder. It's the coming home podcast. And I truly believe as souls, we do come onto this earth so pure, so clear. As children, before adults get in the way and scold us or punish us for expressing ourselves or being too much, I believe that's our true nature. And I believe that's what, as adults, then we're all stepping into. Shifting back into that true nature, that true personality of yours, and having the courage to follow it and do it. I believe that's what a lot of us are. I just believe that's what we're doing. That's just my beliefs. And so that's what we're going to be stepping into with money, with love, with relationships. I think a lot of my work too is around you becoming the chooser. If somebody leaves you or cheats on you, doesn't want to be with you, rejects you, wakes up one day, doesn't want to be with you as well, that yes, you feel your feelings, you don't bypass them, but then you realize they are not the only fish in the sea. They then aren't the one. They aren't the person for you. And that's okay. There's plenty of people to date, to move forward with. I want to help us shift into abundance. I want us to be excited about receiving money, spending money, playing with money in all sorts of amounts. That feeling when you were a kid and you'd receive money or you'd sell lemonade. How did it feel when somebody would give you a 20 when everyone else was giving you dollars? I want us to shift into that energy. What I noticed, because I also did the New Year's process with my partner last night, is that we all view things and do these processes different. I went through the months, January, February, March, April, and just extracted the gifts and the lessons and the wisdom, and he did it totally differently. He kind of just looked at it overall, and he did it a little bit in a different order than I did, and that worked for him, and that was good. And he didn't write as much as me, but it felt really complete and good to him. And so he's helping me really shift into and see that I could tell you one way to do this thing, and that doesn't mean that that's correct. That's another aspect of coming home to you, is honoring what feels good for you. What is the way that you want to implement this podcast episode that you're listening to? Do you want to do it exactly how I did it, or do you have certain ideas coming through? I think a lot of us can get so caught up and we don't want to do it wrong. And so then we don't do it, and we're paralyzed with perfection, and that's not the point. And so that's what a lot of conversations are going to be around too, is just move the needle forward. We're letting go of needing to get it right or not doing it at all. So I'm wishing you the best 2025. I invite you to take a look, release it, let it go, forgive, and step into 2025 looking and feeling the way that you want to feel. Having the time of your life. Let's have some more fun. To me, I'm starting to feel similar to the way I had felt in 2020, especially right before COVID happened. There was an energy, and I've talked to a few of my clients and they felt that too, especially some of my clients I actually straight up coached in 2020. There was a magic, there was a magnetism, there was feelings of abundance, feeling unlimited, feeling like dreams were coming true. And I think for a lot of us, especially this collective, have stopped feeling that way for a really long time and felt like we haven't been able to get to that point. And so I never suggest we go backwards, but I always suggest that we can step into certain frequencies. And if you've hit certain frequencies before, you can hit them again. Just like if you've hit certain levels of income, you could hit those levels of income again. A lot of times it's just the fear that has become associated with the loss or not being able to do it again, or what if it all goes away? And that's actually what prevents us. But we can reach the same frequencies and feelings and create even new ones, even better ones. And that's what I feel for all of us. So I'm so grateful that you are here. If you're looking to do some work together, my work is not just around narcissistic relationships, although I feel that's a huge root of almost all of our blocks in our relationships. In all areas of our life, it usually boils down to where we're giving our power away to somebody else outside of us. I really want to focus more on the solution, though. Yes, it's still related to narcissistic relationships, but I'm not getting caught up in the diagnosis and the label. I'm getting more caught up in how you feel and how we can shift that. I want to help you shift into your confidence, your worth, your beauty, your abundance, your power, your magnetism, your ability to say no. And that's honestly what my main offer is the Woman Empower program. It is modules, it is trainings, it is meditations, it is healings, it is visualizations. It is also a community to really transform so you are not alone, especially as an empath, especially as someone who's been in narcissistic or avoidant kind of relationships. We can often feel really isolated, really alone. So this is the space that I created that I would have wanted on my journey. And that's going to be the main thing I'm going to be talking about and inviting us all in. And at the moment right now, the investment is $333, a one-time fee to get the lifetime access as long as the program is active and open. So that's the main space to come play with me. But there also are opportunities for some one-on-one coaching where I can go deep into your wounds, your fears, your patterns, your traumas, and help you heal and neutralize and clear them so that every area of your life becomes free. There's no agenda on these calls. They're just intuitively led. So if that works with your soul, then let's see if we have a soul agreement. I'm sending you so much love, and I look forward to creating more for you in 2025.